Yes, let's see. We are live at YouTube. Welcome YouTube. Let me just take the chat real quick over here, and we can start talking about what's happening today. Welcome YouTube to a rare Ame devlog. Shout out to Tuonela devlog. We've got some huge updates coming your way, coming our way. I've been cooking something. I've been working with the little spare time that I have, but my our dear community member Electro on Twitch has been working harder than I have. We made a deal that she's gonna be working on some 2D environmental assets, and she is done, guys. She is done, and that's what we're gonna do today. We're gonna be adding those into the game. We got a lot of new bushes, grass, flowers, ferns, you name it. Like, we got a lot of cool stuff coming to the world to make it more like a real place, and to kind of like make it more interesting to look at and have an adventure in. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen today, but let me show you. I've been doing a little bit of something. So this is now the new kind of like login screen. So I had to tweak the logic and kind of like the flow of how the game gets initialized and whatnot. This is gonna be kind of like the work in progress, kind of like joining the game. We've got the message of the day and kind of like menu here as well, that you can select your audio and whatnot. Let me put the music on hold and we can actually listen to what the music sounds like. So I think I have the wrong audio here. Yeah. So that's the audio. There's a login. Damn right, there's a login. All right, let's log in. So this is not what you're gonna see when the game is out. This is just to self-host. So here we go. Oh man, we just okay. So this was not the place I wanted to spawn to. Can you change the message of the day outside of the engine? I could do that, but it's actually more like a patch note thing. I think we're gonna kind of like. Initially, it's gonna be this message from me, but I think in the future it's gonna be kind of like it's gonna be, you know, patch notes. But yeah, I have been working on the game. I've been doing kind of like these subtle things, but as you can probably notice, there is something on the, well, you probably can't because my webcam is on the way. Yeah, there is a little something on the bottom right here, and that is the first iteration of the special attack. So let me just spawn ourselves some gear. I created a keybind for that. We have some new equipment. Let me put on that. Let's put on that. Oh, this guy is coming for my ass. So let me just move over here. We have armor. So we don't have a ring. Is that so? Yeah. Let me just drop something real quick. All right. More stuff. Black. Really? Alright, I'm just dropping more stuff. Okay, we got a green robe now. Blue ring. Very good. Alright, so we have a special attack now. And it's very simple how it works, but I'm gonna show it to you. So basically when we attack, if I press it, so I'm gonna press it now, it's gonna load it for the next attack. And yeah, that's a little sad because it missed. But the idea is that it's going to... Oh, we just died. We just died. But yeah, the point is that it's gonna have a cooldown. What the hell happened to the camera? It's gonna have a cooldown, and it's gonna load to the next attack that you do, and it has a higher damage but lower hit chance. Right now I can tell you that the damage multiplier is 50%, so it has a chance of hitting 50% harder, and it has a hit chance of 50%. I don't know what the kind of like last numbers are gonna be. It might be less than that, it might be different than that, but let me just say you that it is an interesting attack. I can actually like put it on Q outside of combat, and then it's gonna hit like immediately. It's gonna hit immediately when it comes out, and then it's gray when you can't use it. The kind of like, yeah, it's a gamble. Yeah, I have kind of like thought of it as a gamble hit. So you can kind of like do a Hail Mary if you're losing a fight, or you can kind of like open with it if you want. It's gonna be high risk, high reward, or, well, I don't know, high risk, but you know what I mean. Let's see if we can hit harder. 22. That's insane. 22. That is kind of insane. I think we gotta probably tune down the numbers a little bit, but yeah, that's cool. That's cool stuff. Vaka, huge update. Did you add your cock? Yeah, nice cock. But yeah, there it is. I think the special attack is gonna be a little bit more fleshed out. I think we're gonna give it a little bit of love before our demo release. I'm thinking that it's probably gonna be tied to the leveling system. So I think this is what we're gonna do first thing in August. So we're gonna do the leveling system, where when you fight mobs, you're gonna get some combat level, and the combat level is going to give you more special attacks. So you can basically get like multiple of these. 80, hell yeah! I think with this weapon we can probably hit for something like 16. So we're getting like 50% of that. So 16. So it would be 8. So you could basically hit for 24 tops probably. Hey, Kovalaki is here. Hello. How's it going? How's it going, Governor? We've been working on the game, and I just wanted to show you a little bit of something. So we have our first special attack. You can queue it up on the bottom right, and boom, 22, bitch. Yeah, but there it is. I've also added a lot of audio. So when you drop, it's gonna play a sound. It plays a sound. When you pick, it plays a sound. When you equip, it plays a sound. When you unequip, it does play. So when you unequip, it plays a sound. I've added a bunch of sounds to the game, but there's still some to be added. When you talk, it's gonna play a sound. Hey chat, how's it going? So it's gonna play a little bit of that. We have added the emojis, so you can be kind of like crying, for example. Hello? Where's the emote? What? Okay, that one works. So this one doesn't. Okay. That doesn't work. This one works. What about heartbreak? Question works. Okay, that doesn't seem right. But yeah, we've got some we got kind of like these emojis and whatnots. Yeah, I'm really happy where the game is currently. We are definitely closing in on making this next playtest version. We could already host it, but I haven't tested the back end with everything that's new. So I probably need like a few work days to figure everything out. But yeah, there it is. There it is, boys. Let's start working on the environment. Stun attack could be nice too. Could try it on third round against another player to not let him her escape. Ooh, that would be pretty cool. Ideas. Notepad. I'm gonna put that in. Add a stun. Add a stun to prevent enemy opponent of running away. I'm gonna put that on. Put it in, baby. Hey, Electro is here. Speak of the devil. We were just talking about your assets, and we're gonna start putting them into the game. Electro, how's it going? And I'm really happy. I'm really happy about the stuff that you've been doing. Let's see what they look like when we put them into the game. Sounds more like a bind than stun. Yeah, I suppose it's kind of like what you wanna name it. So yeah, I have put the environmental assets folder here. So let's see where they are. Over here, and environmental assets. So Electro's been working the past month on these 2D assets. They are gonna be replacing these crap bushes that, for example, this one is. So let me just go over these, and we are gonna give them a little bit of importation. We are gonna import them as single sprites, pixels per unit. I think we gotta test it out, but I'm gonna try 500 first. And I think we can probably give these a little bit of filtering. They don't need to be so high quality. I'm fine working on some code for the internship, crossing fingers, nothing goes wrong. Hey, there's probably, I don't think there's anything that can really go wrong. They look amazing, so that's basically all there is to it. It's just, I guess the resolution is the only thing that matters. Look at that fluffy boy. Look at that fluffy boy. It's looking awesome. So I think the 500 is a little bit too big. Let's make it 250. So now it's 250. Oh, it becomes bigger. It's even a bigger boy. Tinne puppy. It's even bigger. Let's make it 1,000. It's 1,000. Okay, 1,000 is starting to look a little bit more reasonable. Now it's that sized. I think the 1,000 could be something we might work with, but let's put it a little bit smaller. Let's try 1,100. I think now we are getting there. So if this was it, this is the old bush. We're still talking about like twice the size. It might be a little bit too much. Might be a little bit too much. Let's go 1.22. 1.2. 1.2. Did it go smaller? Did you go smaller? Because I am not seeing it. Let's try to pick this guy up. All right. So did it go smaller? I don't see anything. What about 1.3K? Okay, it does go smaller. It's just, it probably needs to be the 2K because 2K was the resolution. So let's see 2K. All right, so 2K is actually the value here. So I think Electro says that 2K was the resolution. So it was kind of like a square 2K. If it's too big, no, Electro, you don't need to do any of that. The only thing that matters is that there's enough resolution so that we can kind of like make it bigger, make it smaller, and it's not gonna clip out, not gonna like pixelate. So this is perfectly fine. Yeah. All right. So let's see how these guys look when we put them side by side. So here's one. There's another one. I think they look amazing. Yeah. I think Electro did a good job here. They are looking wonderful. I think this is something we can make kind of like different sizes as well. We can make different sizes of these, and it's gonna be looking fine. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. So what we need to do, they look so crisp. Oh yeah. It's not Resident Sleeper, it's Craigasm. This is the actual emoji you're looking for. Or, God forbid, Ameses Latex. Stun could be like 1 or 2 rounds if lucky, and opponent could escape after that. Maybe 1 would be enough. I kind of like that idea. I don't know what would be the kind of like correct mechanic for that. I think it might be a tad too strong if it was the special attack. But I think I would be kind of like open to that. All right, so how we're gonna work? How we're gonna bring these to life? I figure we're gonna use some of these existing assets. So for example, here we have the red berry bush. What I can do here is I can change the sprite. I can change this, I reckon. And it's gonna be different looking. It just looks a little bit weird. I don't know why. If I change the sprite, isn't that enough? Open the sprite editor. Hey, Electro! Now you get to shake your booty. You get to shake your booty. Thank you, Electro. That is 4 months of support to the channel, and I should probably give you the VIPs at some point because you really helped us out. So let me do that right now. I think we still have VIP spots. Yes, we do. Mr. Gifts. Hell yeah. There you go, Electro. You are now a VIP. Very important penis. There it is. So here we have another one. This is the bush berry. So yeah, so this is actually... So we're gonna do this a little bit differently now. So previously we had the kind of like the bare bush, and then we had the berries kind of like separately. But now we can just change the sprite. So how I'm actually thinking is we're actually gonna take disassemble this. I'm gonna take the berries away as well. We don't need that. How we're gonna do this is we're gonna create 2 empties. This is gonna be the growing, and then there's gonna be another one which is gonna be kind of like harvestable. So we have 2 states. The growing one is going to have a sprite renderer. We could do an image here as well, but let's do sprite renderer. I am gonna drag this over here. There it is. And it has to be on player layer 0. And then it also has to have the Z sorting script. I'm kind of like thinking, does it have to be here? I think so, yeah. Sorting group, I think it has to be on player layer. There it is. And then we are doing the same thing over here. So sprite renderer. And I'm gonna drag the other one here. So this is gonna be the one with the berries. And why didn't it go to the same place though? Why didn't you go to the same place? Well, let's do the C sorting here as well. Maybe it's about this. I don't know. Player. All right, so there it is. For some reason. Oh yeah, I changed the. I changed the pivot point, didn't I? So this is supposed to be kind of like here. This is supposed to be here. I should probably figure out some exact values here. 0.5, 0.12. 0.5, 0.12. So here's the empty one. So let's see. 0.5, 0.12. Alright. So now they should be at the same place. So what we're gonna do is we're just going to kind of like disable the one that's not, you know, we're gonna disable the one that's not true. So there it is. All right, we have the red berry bush, we have the box collider, we have network object, we have the bush script. We have I don't know, I wonder if this is something you gotta have on both of them. Maybe we don't need these. Let me just remove these from the child. from the children. Maybe these aren't needed for the children. I don't know. Maybe it's only kind of like needed or necessary here at the parents. All right. If the game had a bind skill, it should be really low chance of success, and maybe if you have the logic for it, then make it so that inside 5-minute window the chance to success increases every time the same player escapes, acting like anti-griefing. Yeah, so what that kind of like feels to me is kind of like what Helpereth had. Helpereth had this paralyze ability. It was a spell, and the thing is that in the paralyze spell you had to kind of like predict where the player's gonna be. So if you kind of like casted it, you had to predict, okay, so the player's gonna be there, and if the player was actually there, then they would get paralyzed in place for like a couple seconds. And I thought it was a cool mechanic because it was kind of like, it was hard to hit, but once you hit it, it felt good. I liked it, but the game was kind of like grid based. So I don't know if it would work kind of like in our case. Is it too easy to hit? Is it too hard? Yeah. Say player layer a million times fast. Player layer. How's Tinnebaby doing? How are you people? If now the bushes have been added next to the tower. Apustaja. Yeah, so now we have a new berry bush. So we gotta change the logic a little bit. Not much, but a little bit. So basically what we're gonna do is we need 2 game object now. So we have the berry, and then we have the kind of like, so let's change this name. I'm gonna change their occurrence. So this is gonna be so it's berries, so that's kind of like the harvestable visual, and then this is gonna be the growing visual. And yeah, when we are spawning, we are going into here, and we're gonna do the coroutine server, and we are updating the berry visuals. So harvestable visual, when we are harvestable, is set to true, which means that the other one has to be set to false. And that's it. So we're just doing this. And I think that should work. So we're flipping the 2 game objects, which one's gonna be updated, or which one's gonna be on and which one's not. I'm just checking, is there anything else to it? Is there anything else to it? I don't know. I think that's it pretty much. So next, let's see if the animator is gonna work. Back is stuck, as we say in Finnish. Hell yeah. Feels like 30s. Object reference not set to an instance of an object. I don't know what you're talking about. Alright, so harvestable visual is this one, and growing visual, it's this one. I think we're gonna remove these. We're not gonna be needing these guys. We have animators. So let's see about the animator. Apparently we don't have an animator. Hello? Didn't we have an animator? Bush animator. Huh? Where's the animator? What? Where's the animator? So we have bush controller. If I open the bush controller, nothing happens. Huh. That's weird. That's kinda weird. I'm kinda like thinking, do we even need a network animator for this? Because we're already networking the object. I think we can probably not have a network animator. Yeah, yeah. I think that's. I don't think we need one. Because I actually figured something out, guys. I figured something pretty big. This might not be big for everyone, but it's pretty big for me. So I noticed something that's gonna save us a lot of data. Well, it's gonna save some data, all right? So basically, when we're talking about animations, and when we are talking about kind of like networked animations, all right? There's multiple ways to do this, and I have noticed this. So basically, what many frameworks and solutions offer is that they do this network animator thing. So they have network animator, and the network animator, as far as I know, is kind of like it's just a kind of like it's just a parent to, it's kind of like an abstraction level to animator. So if you have an animator here, a regular animator, and the animator is, you know, kind of like play walk or whatever. We have play walk, and we have like play combat. These could be animations. This is what animator does. This is what animator does. So what network animator does, it's just like a parent to that, and the network animator is kind of like just sending the state to kind of like to the network. So it's kind of like if there's a client 1 here, or client B here, and then there's client A here. It's just sending these kind of like states. Okay, so this guy is now playing walk, and it's sending to everyone, you know. It's kind of like trying to match the animator states. That's what a network animator does. But there is another way to do this, which I think is gonna be better. So basically, we have these things called network variables, and these are pretty awesome now that I've kind of like thought about it. So what network variable does is it's kind of like this network animator for variables. So for example, if we have, let's say that we have is in combat bool variable. So this is type bool, and we flip it to true whenever we are in combat. The network variable, if this is a network variable bool, it's going to be networked to everyone. So if we have the client A and client B, the network variable is going to be updating to the other clients as well. All right. So this is kind of like power of it. And now I realized that we can actually use the network variable to kind of like hit multiple birds with the one stone, you know. So instead of you know, having a network variable and a network animator, so we can actually just use the network variable, because if we are listening to, let's say that is in combat, everyone can listen to this. So that means like all the clients who have connected to the network, they can be listening to this, and we can do this kind of like a callback. So if this changed, if this value changes, so we have this method called is in combat change. This gets called to every client, so we can do something here. This is gonna be a method, and we can kind of like we can, for example, play animation. We can play an animation here, and this is gonna be kind of like in combat or something. And when we change to, you know, when we go that the bool is gonna be false, so if this means that the bool is kind of like true, if this bool is true, then we're gonna play this. If it's false, then we are gonna like play idle. You see what I'm saying? Is that you don't have to have the network animator necessarily, or the network animator, because if you have a network variable, you can kind of like have the logic there if you need to, you know? So the network animator is good, but in some cases the variable is better because the variable is going to let us do more with the one thing. So for example, with the is in combat network variable, we could attach like a a bunch of logic to this. So for example, when the pool is true, we could show health bar. we could show health bar. We could play combat music. We could do a bunch of things with one network variable, including the animations. So this is the kind of like power of the network variable. So now, how does this kind of like work with the berry bush? Well, previously we had a network variable for the harvestable. So the harvestable means that we're going to network to everyone who is connected, whether you can kind of like harvest the berry bush or not. So we already have that information here in the network variable. So we don't actually need a network animator. That's the kind of thing what I'm talking about here. So we can just get rid of this shit, and we're gonna deal with the consequences now. Hadouken! Hey Podday, how's it going? Hurmordu. Nice, I has to roll out of bed and decided to make a day's work. Damn right! Damn right! I'm gonna do a good thing today. How are you? Electro says that also I noticed that there's 2 bushes that you haven't got, and now that I check them in the drive, they have a at the end of the PNG extension, just to know whether you can download them or prefer the ones you picked. Yeah, I noticed that something happened in the downloads, are they correct in the drive? Because yeah, I would love to have them. All right, so how do we get that thing working? So basically, when we are fix them and remove the squiggly mark, should probably work. Okay, cool stuff. Thank you. So when we are doing this, I suppose we can make the case then that's when we are setting the value to on cooldown. We can also say that the bush is probably harvested right now. So we can play the animation here. So we're gonna be if animator, and then we're just gonna play the we're gonna do animator play bush animation. That's it. I am vertical and all that stuff. Just got back from lunch. What did you have for lunch? So this is the kind of like thing that we're gonna do here. I'm just also thinking, so we don't need this anymore as far as I know, and we are not gonna need this either. I reckon we can play the animation here. Let's actually do a new method. So this is gonna be play bush shake animation. Let's do a new method for this, so that we don't have to you know repeat ourselves, because it's that's one of the, I think that's one of the better kind of like coding philosophies, is that don't repeat yourself. All right, so if we have an animator, we're gonna play the bush animation. Let's call it bush shake animation. I think that's gonna be a little bit more kind of like descriptive. Is there anything else? So now we are gonna play it locally when we are trying to get the bush. And I think we can kind of like, I think we can even play it even if we can't, because it's gonna be client side. So I'm gonna put it here. So even if we can't get the berries out, we are going to shaky. And you might get the berries or you might not. And I guess the only problem here is that we are also playing the shake now there. Yeah. So maybe we shouldn't do this. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna take this away because now we're gonna shake it twice, aren't we? Yeah, I think that's probably a better idea. So we're only gonna play this when we are updating the berry visuals. So here. Over here. Alright. Is there more? No, I think that's pretty much it. I fixed them and removed the squiggly mark. Was at the Chinese place, got deep fried chicken, curry sauce, and rice. Nice. I love Chinese food. I think Chinese cuisine is top 3 in the world. I would probably rank it the number 3. That's how strongly I feel about it. Yeah, alright, so now we gotta think about the bush controller. For some reason the bush isn't bushing. Which I think we are going to kind of like redo. Let's try to redo the animation here. So I am just gonna create a new a bush shake animation, and what we're gonna do with it is I am going to so I think what we kind of like did was alright. So I think we kind of like I think it could kind of like go to a one kind of like route, one kind of like, you know, direction, rotate, and then kind of like do a kind of like smaller vibrations or whatever. So what we gotta do is we are going to put the record on. Now I'm just wondering, like, why doesn't it let me move this? Are these guys the children? Yeah, they are. Why can't I move these values? Overridden value on the prefab instance. To edit this property, open this prefab asset in isolation. Alright, let's do that. So now we are in isolation. Alright, cool. Cool. Position 2.9, so we can definitely put these into 0, right? We can put these to 0. And then we are gonna start the recording. Not a fan of Asian food, but colleagues wanted it, and I am not picky. Not a fan of Asian food? What? What kind of foods have you tested? Like which restaurants or which kitchens, which cuisines? Not liking Chinese food sounds impossible. Yeah, like what the hell, dude? Maybe you just haven't had a proper Chinese experience. I used to love it, but I have eaten way too much of it. Huh. Alright. Maybe there is a logic after all. Alright, so we're gonna move the X. So what I'm thinking is that we'll kind of like do... maybe we'll do like first closure. I don't think it matters much. So that's 15 degrees. I think we're gonna make it a little bit over the top. Better than rössypotto. Yeah, anything's better than rössypotto if we're kind of like completely honest. So we're gonna do like 30 first, and then we are gonna move kind of like, so it's gonna be pretty fast to the other direction. So let's do like 30 to the other, And then we're gonna make it a little bit faster. So we're gonna kind of like half this period. Or maybe we can get, let's just do it. Let's do it kind of like in a flat interval. And then kind of like squeeze it in. Maybe that's gonna work. So now this is gonna be minus, I don't know, minus 25. This is gonna be 25. Somebody from the UK is calling me. I am not gonna answer. Minus 20. 20. This is gonna be minus 10. And this is gonna be 10. And then we're gonna do a couple more. So this is gonna be like 5. No, this is gonna be minus 5. And then lastly, let's just do 0. So now let's see. So yeah, it's gonna be like that. So now I'm thinking it has to be kind of like first a bigger movement and then it kind of like quicker ending. So what we can do with the Unity kind of like animator is we can squeeze this in like so. But what I realized that this is still going to be you know, like it's gonna be too linear. I think it has to be kind of like a quicker ending. So let's not do that. Let's instead do it so that we try to squeeze it in. Maybe we can do something like squeeze this in like so, and then kind of like just like take one away or something. Maybe this works. Maybe this is the way to go. I don't know. Where are we at? Is it this one? Okay, so this is gonna be getting a little bit too fast, I suppose. All right, so it's not completely horrible, but let's try to make it squeezing in a little bit. We're going fast. All right, so how does it look like? I think it could use a little bit of let's do it like that. I think that's all right. Talking about Chinese, my dad is pretty biased. Or based, yeah, based. Since he knows a friend of mine is Chinese and that he likes her in a friendly way, he wants to bring her and me to a Chinese restaurant, of course. Wait. All right. So I hope the kind of like first initial feeling I have is that I just hope it's a good Chinese restaurant, you know, because the thing is that if you bring a Chinese person to a bad Chinese restaurant at your non-Chinese country and non-Chinese town, I think you might offend someone. But if you have like a, you know, like a legit Chinese place that's probably run by actual Chinese people, and you bring a Chinese person there, it's probably gonna be nice, you know. It's just you know, like having a nice family meal at home, you know. That's the thing. But apparently it's a good Chinese restaurant. Okay. So that's fine. I think that's cute. I think that's cute then. If it's good, then it's pretty cute. Matter B! It is the one and only, the legendary Swedish indie developer who is working on a beautiful game. Let's see. Did I do that? Did I do the thing? I did! Hey guys! Past Ame did a good thing. This is Matcherby's game. Unfortunately, you have to know my family passcode to get in. This is very, very wishlistable game. It might be top 3 wishlistable games of all time. Like right after GTA 6 and The Elder Scrolls 6. This might be the next one, you know? And I have high hopes for this game. I hope Matt Sherby becomes a millionaire, and then he is gonna gift a lot of subs into our channel. That's the plan. Like, my first plan is to make it big with Shadows of Tuonela, but then right after that, it's gonna be Shroud of Gloom. Yeah. So I'm kind of like hoping for that, you know, trickling down effect, which is not a lie. Big cap. I appreciate it. Yeah. It's the least we can do for our little bromance. Conrad is here as well. How's it going? Hey, nice to see you, Conrad. Let's shout out our boys. Matt Sherpy. He's a really nice fella. Who's I think his stream has a lot of similar vibes to mine. He's a Swede, so you know we share some cultural values quite a bit, to be fair, and yeah, go check him out. And we have Conrad here as well. I can't shout out because we already did it, but I can vouch for Conrad. He's been growing like crazy. Conrad has a really smart game idea. What, you play bass? I didn't know you play bass. That's really cool. That's really cool. Yeah, Conrad is making this amazing kind of like rhythm-based vampire survivors. That's how I see it. So basically, you're kind of like combining something like Metal Hellsinger or, you know, Guitar Hero to kind of like this chill roguelite kind of like a Vampire Survivors game. And yeah, he's a nice fella as well. He's been growing like crazy. He's got a better game idea than I do. So go check him out as well. What is Hemo Manager? Yeah, there. Oh, yeah. I didn't actually. Yeah, this is it. It is actually wishlistable already. There it is. There it is. I was like, what is Hemo Manager? But it is Conrad's game. Stupid dummy. It is Conrad's game. Go check him out. Wishlist it. It's the number 4 in the most wishlistable games of all time. All right, hey guys, how's it going? How's it going? I'll buy everyone a whiskey if I become a millionaire. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Matt Sherp is gonna be one of those millionaires who's gonna be a nice millionaire and not one of those, you know, just trying to keep it all in my big concrete bunker like a Scrooge McDuck. All right. So we've got cool new assets. Electro, a dear community friend of ours, has been working hard. And Ora Matti is here. Ora Matti. I think we can go with this. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. Pretty good. Let's go! Oramatti! 64 kuukautta, kiitoksia. Mitä kuuluu hyvälle miehelle? Moi! Thank you, Oramatti. That is some crazy sub right there. Alright, so what... Like, I'm still kind of like wondering, like, what the fuck, though? So we have the bush shake animation, but for some reason my animator is not really, you know, animating. Root position and rotation are controlled by curves. What the hell does that mean? Hey, KMP Kimchi! How's it going? Good day. How you doing? I'm doing good. What about you? I am enjoying summer, and finally, I don't know about you guys, but summer and summer heat has finally reached Finland. There was a lot of kind of like, you know, lag in the delivery and lag in the freaking mail, because it took us like half a summer to get proper heat. And now we got it, guys. We got it. There's a lot of heat. Where's KMP Kimchi from? Doing good. Just woke up and chilling with coffee. Hell yeah. Sounds pretty good. Sounds pretty good, dude. It's hot and rainy here, says Vaka, at the near the Finnish capital. Yeah, it's like plus 21 here in Finland. Wanna switch locations, bro? Come and get the heat you want. Hey. I'm not saying that we want like a lousy sauna weather. Like IOE is living in UAE and they've got like 40 degrees Celsius. Like that's just like a badly heated sauna. That's what it is. Like the thing with the heat is that you want either plus 20, which is like pretty much the perfect temperature, or you want plus 80. That there should be no in between, because the thing is that human body is really good at plus 20 and really enjoyable at plus 80 in sauna, but anywhere in between you just suffer. Yeah, that's how it is coming from a Finnish person. Trust me, I know what I'm talking about. Poland, and here it's cold now, so it's nice. It's nice, hell yeah. It's the Kurvaland, let's go. Love from Finland, how's it going in Poland? All right, so what the hell am I doing? I'm trying to get the bush animation here, but it's not here, and I'm wondering like why. So if I put it here, does it work? Hell no, it doesn't work, because that would be too easy. That would be just too easy, wouldn't it? I'm a little bit confused because we have the... Okay, so never mind. This is Redberry Bush Animator. Redberry Bush Controller. Wait a minute. I'm confused. So I kind of wanna... Because there's nothing here. There's nothing here. I have the animator, but there's nada here. I have never had this problem before. I have never in a million years had this problem before. So I'm gonna remove that shit. As well. Is this the correct one though? Animator, item berries. Yeah, this is correct. Okay, so let's try this again. So we have the animator. I am maybe if I just Redberry Bush. Maybe I need to create a new animator manually. Let's try that. So I have an animator now, and I can create a new animator, right? So let us create a new animator. This is going to be animator controller, and this is gonna be Berry Bush animator. All right. I have a quick message. Hey, let's just tell me all about it. I missed your stream yesterday. No worries. I hope you're doing well. Says Matt Chirpy lying. Matt Chirpy was absolutely devastated. He was crying. He was holding back tears and holding on to his sweet mustache because IOE wasn't there. Yeah. He's putting in a brave face for you guys, but he was absolutely devastated because IOE wasn't there. Yep. That's just how much he cares. All right, so we need to do the new do animation here, then animator, which we just created, and I think it was what was it called? Berry Bush. This one it is. Yeah. All right, so we have that now. To begin animating Redberry Bush. So can I now move the bush animation in here? I cannot. I am confused. Can we change this name? So maybe we rename it to New Berry Bush. What if we call it New Berry Bush? We are going to rename the file. It didn't do it. I don't know what's going on. I'm gonna unpack this. Motherfucker. This is gonna be the new Berry Bush. And I'm gonna create a new prefab. I think the old prefab is just fucking it up. Our new Polish friend, KMP Kimchi, says that for everybody that needs to hear it, that I just wanted to stop in and let you know in case no one has said it. You are so loved and supported. I hope you're doing really well. You're doing amazing things by just setting up, by getting up and doing and going every day. I am proud of you. That is very nice. That is very nice. And that is true. If people can hate other people for no reason without knowing them, we can love other people that we don't know without any reason as well. That's how it has to be. That's how it has to be. So I really respect you, Kimchi, for saying that. All right, so now we have this new one. So let me try to think for a change. So we are gonna go into the prefab folder, into environment, and I think I'm just gonna create a new folder here. This is gonna be called bushes. Bushes. Yes, we have a bushes one. So I'm gonna drag in the new berry bush. Now we should be able to handle this one with grace. We have the berry bush animator here, and it is still in fact empty. Can we move this here? Hell no. Hell no. Well, lucky for me, I might be able to new berry bush rotation. So it looks like this is kind of like a thing, but I'm not seeing anything in the animator. I'm not seeing anything here, which is just weird. What if I close it? What if I open it again? Animation, animator. It was just the freaking window. It was just the freaking window, guys. There it is. All right, so we have an animation here. Is this correct? So this one doesn't play. So I suppose it's not correct. Let's change this to the maybe this one, and push shake animation. I still can't play it. It's really confusing. Okay, there it is. Okay. Yeah, it's just looping. We don't want it to loop. So let's change that. I'm gonna take the animation, take the loop away. And I think that's it. Let's try it out. So we have the berry bush here. This is gonna be our test bush. Gonna put it closer to the spawn. It's gonna be here, not there. It's gonna be here, and let's give it a go. Let's give it a go, guys. I'm gonna go and change our spawn position. We wanna be where the action is. And let's give it a go. I also tried implementing the save system in my game yesterday, and I was this close to having a mental breakdown. I feel you, brother. Variable of harvestable visual of bush script has not been assigned. I hope it's not my bush. I hope it's not my bush. Where's the shaky shake? Where's the shaky shake? Shaky shake shake. Alright, so it didn't work. The shaky shake didn't work. Where is the new berry bush? So this is it. Did we? Okay, so we didn't have the animator sets up. That's why. That's why. It all adds up. So we have the item to drop is berries, harvestable growing. That should be correct. Alright, now it's gonna work. Now it's gonna work. Can't be sliding on a shrimp sandwich all the time, as we say in Sweden. What? What? Can't be sliding on a shrimp sandwich all the time. What? It's honestly, the more I learn about like Swedes, I'm just convinced they want to be made fun of. That's what it is. All right, I'm trying to pick up the berries. Still no shaky shake. Still no shaky shake. I don't know why. It seems like the layering is correct, so I'm going behind it. I think. I think the problem might be the other missing variables. So let's see here. We have the berry bush animator. We have the play as effects, which is me. Maybe this is it. I didn't have another. I was missing another reference. Maybe that was it. I hope that was it. Did we name it the right? Did we name it right? Did we name it right? I think I'm actually gonna do an empty one here. So this is gonna be empty. This is gonna be the default state, and we're just gonna play this, and we're gonna play this, and that's it. So when we are playing the animation, this is the right one. Now it's gonna work. All right, now it's gonna work. It means to have it too easy, not having to work for stuff, especially if it's undeserved. Sliding on a shrimp sandwich. It's just it's so funny. It's so funny. I get the meaning of the metaphor or kind of like the saying, but yeah. All right. This is it. Now the bush is gonna work. Check it out. Hell yeah! The bush, it's too much. The initial shake is too much. All right. It was not very good, but it worked. So what we can now do is we can tweak the animation a little bit. I think these values were just too much. If we're taking a look at this is minus 30. I'm gonna nerf it to minus 20. And then this is gonna be, let's make it a little bit smaller, so 18. Let's make it like, I don't know, like 19. And it's gonna be like 17. Wait, we lost the minus, didn't we? So this was minus 25. This was 25. What? Why didn't I just change them? Okay, so I guess we didn't have record on. So I wanted this to be minus 20. And then this was supposed to be like 19 minus 18 17 minus 15 14. Maybe this could be a little bit more already. Let's put 10 minus 10 5 minus 5, and then we're just gonna go 0. All right, so how's that? All right, I think that's better. I think it's better. It's not that over the top. All right, let's give it another go. We have wife carrying competition. Swedes have shrimp sandwich sliding. North Europe, who hurt you? The thing is that we hurt each other. I don't know if you guys knew, but the Swedes and the Danish people, they had a lot of beef. They had a lot of beef back in the day. All right. Yeah, that's better. I think it's still a little slow. It's a little slow. Maybe it should be kind of like happening faster. It could be kind of like faster. So I'm just gonna squeeze this in like so. Maybe move it a tad closer. And now it's gonna be like didip, didip. So I think the ending could actually be kind of slower, but it feels like the action should be happening more quick. All right, what if we look at the curves? All right, so the curves is actually looking kind of like what I initially wanted it to be. Wait, what is that? What is that? This is supposed to be 0. All right. Let's try that. We have the record of having the most beef in the history, as far as I know. Most wars fought between any two nations. Yeah, yeah. Like if we're looking at like the Nordics of today, it's really hard to kind of like see the past. But yeah, that's what I've learned as well, is that there's been a lot of beef. The collider feels off. Feels like you have to click it multiple times. So the collider is there. So why does it feel like you gotta click it multiple times? Hmm. 7 walls. We are all brothers in the end. No, I say it's time for another war. Most wars, yeah, that's insane. That's insane, yeah. But hey, Madchirpy, how, and Hadouken and all the other Nordics here, how would you guys kind of like rank like other Nordic countries? Like which one do you consider to be kind of like your friend? So like Swedish point of view, Finnish point of view. I would like to like kind of like learn it. So now it just didn't play at all. Is it only kind of like a one shot kind of thing? So I suppose the problem, I wonder if this is kind of like a one shot kind of thing. Maybe we should have a trigger. Maybe we should have a trigger. Let's do that. So let's do a bush animating trigger. And Finland had 2 wars, and we have the largest army of the Northern Europe. 1 rest to Sweden. Classic Gareth. Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. All right, so we have a new trigger. This is going to be called bush animation trigger. And now we are going to be doing like, we're going to be doing this. So we're going to do the bush animation trigger, and that's it. Why does it seem like we have 2? All right, so it's going to be transition of instant. It's going to be transition of instance. And I guess we're going to do I guess we could do like this, and this is going to have an exit time of like 1. Something like that. 0.9. All right. Hey, thank you, Classic Gareth, one more time for the follow. Where are you from, Gareth? And most of the chat here is from Finland. From Finland. All right. Easy Swedish point of view. Finland is better than Åland, which is better than Norway, which is better than Iceland, which is better than Faroe Islands, which is better than Greenland, and rest of the world is better than Denmark. Now that's funny. That's what I'm talking about. I love the little slap there at the end. Hell yeah. That's it. That's it, boys. I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. All right. So this is going to be the kind of like the basis for the bush. So what we can now do is we can have this bush. Where is it? We have the new berry bush somewhere. Yeah, so this is going to be just a kind of like just a berry bush. And we're going to use this as the basis for all the other ones. I'm going to apply that. Then we're going to go into the prefabs. Prefabs into the bushes, which should be here somewhere. There it is. And I'm gonna create a new version of this. So I'm gonna just drag and drop it here. And this is gonna be called a red berry bush. And we are gonna make it... Why is the animator called red berry bush? Oh, it's probably because I changed the name, isn't it? Yeah, okay, it's still berry bush animator. Okay, good. All right. So this is the red berry bush, which I think the red berry bush is kind of like the basis. Maybe we don't need this. Maybe we can just call it what it is. So we're gonna do the new volcanic berry bush. So this is gonna be the level 2. So we're just gonna change. We're gonna change the things here. I'm gonna change the sprites. So the growing is gonna be May. All right. First things first. We're getting ahead of ourselves. So 0.5, 0.12. That's what we gotta do. Bottom custom 0.5, 0.12. I think we can probably... Can we copy paste these shits? I think we can. Let's do that. So I think what we can do is... No, we can't. Copy property, search same property, copy. Can I copy this? What if I just like paste it here? That's so good. That's so good, guys. I can paste the custom pivot. I can paste... Hello? Well, that's not the same. It was supposed to be 0.5 and 0.12. I thought we had a good thing going, but I suppose we didn't. 0.12. If you decide to invade us, then remember that I am half finished, so I'm one of the good ones. Hell yeah. We will put you into sauna and see how you do. And if you, after 15 minutes of intense heat, we come and ask you how you are, and if you are saying anything else than more beer and more löyly, then I don't know. I can't protect you. I can't protect you. Vaka says that funny to think that Finland has the power to invade any other Nordic countries we wanted, like all of them used us as slaves before. Hell yeah! Imagine if we were like really grudgy people. We would be just like starting to conquer all the Nordics. That would be so freaking funny. We would go to Sweden with our tanks and whatnots, and all we would hear is like, "Men helvete, jävla fitta," and we would be just like laughing. We would be laughing. Oh man, no, we are peaceful. That's a damn great menu screen. Hey, thank you, Pirate Patch. How's it going, Pirate Patch? Nice to see you. Dude. And Nuxkaro is here too. Good day. All right. So what we were working on is we're gonna change these sprites. So we have 2 states. We have growing and harvestable. And we are going to change these into bush empty. Boom. And harvestable, which is this one. Boom. So now we have a volcanic berry bush. Let's see if we are missing anything else. The berry type is blueberry. I think we could probably change the name. Where have I... So the berry type here. So this is gonna be volcanic berry now. Nah, let's I'm not gonna change it. But we are going to add a new type probably. Because I think we have more berry bushes now, don't we? I think we have more of them now, so let's see here. So we have, we have this one, and then we have that one. And then we have that one. Okay, so I guess we kind of don't. Let me go check out the drive link. Finnish concentration camps are kind of hardcore. Instead of acid showers, we use saunas. Yep. Bushes. So we do have more here. Let me download this. Let me download this real quick. I might sit on top bench in Swedish sauna, but I think I'd have to move down a step in a proper suomalainen sauna. Yeah, maybe. It depends. Not everyone likes it super hot in Finland either. I have days where I think like 60 to 70 Celsius sauna is perfect. I think like when you're talking about like a relaxing and enjoyable sauna experience, it's not just the heat, but it's what actually kind of like makes it really enjoyable is the shivers you get. It's kind of like you get this, goosebumps and whatnot. And I think the kind of like best way to achieve that is that you need kind of like contrast between the weather or kind of like the climate in the sauna and the löyly you do, so the heat and the kind of like the freaking vapor that comes from the stove. So I think like if you actually have like a colder sauna temperature and you do like löyly, I think you actually get like better shivers. That's how I feel. So I think there's a case to be made that enjoyable sauna doesn't mean that it has to be really hot. So we have the bush 0. Let's go. So I'm gonna add these two guys here. All right, so now we have 2 new bush types. So we have this light green, then we have this kind of like darker green, and then we have this like really green, and then we have the volcanic one. So yeah, we gotta kind of like figure out what we're gonna do here. Maybe we'll do like 2 variations of the same bush, kind of like here in the first area, or maybe I'll just use it somewhere else. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, this is the new volcanic berry bush. Let's make a prefab out of it. So we're going into the bushes and I'm dragging this over here, and then it's gonna be like, okay, so what do you want to do? Do we want to make like an original prefab out of it, or do we do a variant? And we're gonna do a variant of it because we basically have like the core idea of all the berry bushes is the same. Now if we do changes to the original one, I think they're gonna kind of like they're gonna transfer over. So this is blueberry. Yeah, that should work. Now we are gonna do we're gonna do just the new berry bush, kind of like the default one. This is gonna be the next one. We're gonna name it new green berry bush or something like that. So this is gonna be the green color. So if we go into the berry bushes one more time or 2 more times, where is it? Here. Let's copy paste these import settings. Can you do that? No, you cannot. So we gotta do it again. 2000 custom 0.5.12, I think it was. Apply. So now what we can do is go to the green berry bush and change the sprites. So this is the empty one, and this is the harvestable one. Boom. So we have this green one now, and we can do a prefab out of this one as well. Bam, 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 bam. So go here, do a new variation of it, prefab variant, and let's do the snow one. I'm gonna use the new volcanic berry bush as the basis for that. So what we can do is just copy paste this. This is gonna be called New snow, volcanic, berry bush. And what we're gonna do with it is we're gonna change the growing into... I think the growing can be the same, to be fair. I think we might, Electro, if you're there, I think we could use a kind of like this snowy one without berries. I think that would be useful. So bush to empty and bush to harvestable. This is gonna shed the snow as well, which is gonna be maybe a tad funny. Let's see what you guys wrote. Alright, I thought about it, but I forgot to do it. It won't take long, but I can only do that tonight. Yeah, there's no rush. If you can do that at some point, would be really useful. Nykorois, have you seen the Pepe meme where the Swedish teacher is trying to teach Finnish all? We're gonna pay back and teach you Perkele the proper way until eternity and beat the fingers with sticks with endless cuffs. What? I prefer hikimaya. Quick heat into the oven, then toss small portions of water along to get more steam. Interesting. Potted patch is all good. Just working and trying to stay motivated with coding boring ass shit instead of wanting to go outside and enjoy the brief summer. Damn, when you put it like that. Feeling kinda idiot again. I've been learning Unreal 5.6 animation, started doing my horror game and threw all the animation logic out and using old ones. No, what happened, dude? What was wrong with the new one? You can vault too. I've been using those two to learn, but I know the old logic better, so I use that. Alright. Okay, so we got... I'm gonna create a new prefab out of this one as well. This is gonna be the snow volcanic berry bush. So we have now 4 types. I think that's what we had. 1, 2, 3, 4. Wait, we have 5. Where's the number 5? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. We're missing the green one. So there's kind of like a third one. So this is the kind of like green berry bush. I suppose we can do one more. So this is gonna be a new, I don't know, like really green one. New green berry bush 2. That's a good name if I ever saw one. That is a good name, guys. Alright, so let's move this over here. And the growing state is gonna be this one. The harvestable is gonna be this one. So we have beautiful berry bushes now. Let's make one more prefab out of this. There it is. Prefab variant. Now we can basically get rid of all the existing berry bushes. Delete. I think we have some other berry bushes as well, so I'm gonna get rid of those. Red berry bushes, volcanic berry bushes, just getting rid of those guys. And then we're gonna see what works and what doesn't, alright? So we have green berry bush. I like this one the most in here. So I'm just gonna like put these on here, in here. I'm just gonna put these in here, like kind of like be everywhere. I think we're gonna nerf the red berry heal. I think it has been a little too powerful. I think we're gonna have like 4 here. Let's do 4 bushes. 4 bushes, alright. Then I'm gonna take the volcanic one. I think these are gonna be the wilderness one, so let's put these into the wilderness. So I'm gonna go ahead and put them like here. Let's put one. This is gonna be kind of like a bait in the wilderness. It's gonna try to drag you into the wilderness. And then there's gonna be one there. And one there. And let's put one here, so in case you are like really desperate, you can get a heal there. Then wasn't the volcanic the red bush? You don't need to add the uranium green bush if it doesn't fit. LOL. It was first try, but I added it anyway. Yeah, I appreciate you adding it. Powder patch is at least you're doing your own project instead of working for pay in July. True. But I am not getting paid, so there it is. Wasn't the volcanic the red bush? What do you mean? I'm not sure if I follow. And I'm gonna put these like snow variations in here. So this is gonna be the Pohjola area berry bush. I know I kind of already used that kind of thing, but as I'm doing slow-based first-person horror game, I don't need as much animation, just need hand swing, use items, flashlight. True. I think we're gonna put one next to Louhi for a kind of like clutch moment. So, or maybe even two here. So, if you are like really clutchy, you might be able to pick these up. The potential payout is huge. In 5 years, we'll talk about Ames as the Finnish X-Notch. I don't know who that is, but I like the sound of that. There was a red flower thingy that wasn't used for prefabs. There was the red tree-looking asset with orange berries. Yeah, I intended it to be the volcanic one, but that was just the perception of it. I see. So what you're saying is we could actually use this as the volcanic berry. I like that better. That's a good idea. Let's do that. I think we could crank the size of this a little bit. So if this is next to this one, it is similar heights, but I think it could be a little bigger. So I'm gonna crank this size a little bit. Let's try something like 1800. I think that looks pretty good. It's levitating a little bit. Let's make it a tad more. Let's try 1500. Is it too much? I think that's pretty cool. Now we just gotta fix the... We gotta fix this. So it's actually growing where it's supposed to. So let's make that like 0.5 and 0.505 or 0.5. Maybe that can be 0.5 as well. 0.5 and 0.05. So custom 0.5, 0.05. Alright, so now it should be on the ground, yeah. Alright, so I think that's cooler. Finish Notch. So quit making games, turning it into an asshole. Notch created Minecraft, sold it to Microsoft for like 800 million. Oh yeah. Yeah, alright, so we are not gonna use this here then. We're gonna use this. Which means that we need one more berry type, one more bush type, I mean. So let's remove this guy. And go back here. And I'm gonna... So we have the volcanic now. I think the name is kind of misleading. Let's change the name. So we're gonna go into the prefabs. This is gonna be called New blueberry, new snow blueberry bush. All right, and this is gonna be called new blueberry bush. All right, and now let's do a copy of this. Let's do a copy of this guy, and we're gonna change the sprites. So growing bushes, it's gonna be that, and harvestable is gonna be that. So here we have another berry bush now. This is gonna be the okay, here's my thoughts about the bushes I had. Green / gray starter. So you're probably talking about like this one. Blue with and without snow, ice zone, red wilderness. Yeah. Oh, so you actually thought that maybe this could be for the desert. Yeah, I agree. I don't think this is gonna have like a berry on it. This is just gonna be kind of like, maybe there was once a berry bush here, but it had dried out, you know. I think we have a kind of like a similar idea of what it's gonna be. I think we do need one more berry type. So we have the red berry, we have the blueberry. I'm gonna add one more. This is gonna be the volcanic. This is gonna be the volcanic berry. 2.5 billion. Yeah, poop berry. Wait. Y'all need help. I constantly have way too many creative side quests and I need to be studying. Creative side quests. I can relate to that. Yeah, Electro, no rush, but if you have time, I would appreciate it. Alright, so we are still on the ground. Good job. Let's make a new prefab variant out of this. So I'm gonna rename this to new volcanic berry bush. There it is, prefab variant. And I'm gonna change the to volcanic berry. That should be everything, right? So now we have a bunch of different ones. I can bring this over to wilderness. So let's do the similar thing here, is that the first one's gonna be kind of like a bait here. First one's gonna be a bait here. Then we're gonna copy in there. Let's take this away. Copy, do one more over here. Copy. But yeah, there is obviously there is the chance. There's a chance of kind of like making it as a solo dev. But the odds are horrible. The odds are horrible. So I think kind of like to not get discouraged, you kind of like need to see the value in doing and not just, you know, making it. Because if you're doing this, if you're in this for the money, I think you're gonna just like, you're just lying to yourself. New dried bush. I know we don't have an old dried bush, but just to keep it consistent, everything's new. And I think we're gonna actually do a new one of this, so I'm gonna delete that one. I'm still gonna copy this. I'm gonna unpack this. So we're gonna unpack this guy. This is gonna be called the dried bush. I changed my mind, it's gonna be dried bush. And instead of growing and harvestable, it's just gonna be one, and we're gonna call it the sprite. I'm gonna drag and drop the guy, which is, so there is 2 versions of it. We're just gonna create 2 versions of it. That's fine. We're gonna do this. We need to change the pivot. So I think the pivot is gonna be here. So it's like 2.8, 2.28 and 0.01. No, 0.1. What? What? Oh, it's 0.1. Yeah. All right, that's good. That's good. There were 19K games released on Steam in 2024, and how many life-changing solo dev runaway hits? 20? Yeah, that's a really valid point. So if that was the case, if there were 19,000, so let's see here, 20 divided by 19,000. You're gonna have, this is percent, 0.1% chance. But this is the thing, obviously the numbers aren't, you know, that every game has an equal opportunity. So it's not like we're talking about on kind of like, you know, it's not even odds. So it's heavily biased and heavily kind of like steered towards the better games. The games that have you know, a lot of development time and expertise behind them. But still, when you put it like that way, even if you made like a proper game, I think the chances are probably in the 1%. So like 1-digit percentage numbers. Yeah. I think it's mainly because coding side people doing indie games have no clue of aesthetics whatsoever in most cases. Yeah, I think if there's... Alright. Yeah, I saw Yenshi. Yeshi is here. Hello, how's it going, Yeshi? Good to see you. Good day to everyone. So I think it's gonna be pretty fair to say like, okay, so Steam games released... Was it 2024? Yeah, 2024. So if the number is 19K, how many of those are kind of like meme games, or you know, something that was created in a jam or created in a, you know, a hurry? I would probably argue that at least half, of them are probably kind of like low effort. This is just, I'm pulling this number out of my ass. So now we are talking about roughly like 10K games. Maybe there's like 10K games that are actually legit. All right. So out of the 10K, what are kind of like, what in the 10K that has been actually kind of like developed with care and time, how many of them are actually kind of like objectively legit? Well, we're probably talking about something like 10% of them. I'm just pulling another number out of my ass, but this is just to kind of like paint a picture. So we probably have something like 1,000 actual games that, you know, have a place in the world. And even out of these 1,000, only 20 make it, you know. So this is probably the actual ratio. I'm just, you know, I'm just talking, you know, but 20 from 1,000 is 20%. So maybe we have a 20% chance of making it if we get into this pool. If we get into this pool, maybe. Most people don't really know how to do a really good core game loop. Yeah. Yo, I'm going to have to go finish my sticking all the papers I printed for the design. I want to start suing and watch some crime documentaries. Hey, I'll see ya. There's probably not gonna be a stream tomorrow, but whenever I'm back, I'll see you then. I'll see you then. Take care. You need to be really, really good at marketing while being really, really good at making interesting games. At least 50% are bucket list games. I want to release a game on Steam at least once. Yeah, I think there's a big portion of that who just wanna release a game on Steam, kind of like despite everything. I think DLC is counted as a game in Steam statistics. True, that could be. Most games are also Me Too games when you're just cloning a new hit recipe, like COD-based roguelike seems to be a fad now. That's true. There's kind of like it's a double-edged sword to kind of like create create a game that is in a popular genre. So like picking a popular genre is kind of like you're gonna gain more eyes, you're gonna gain more attention because everyone likes the genre you're making. So let's say you're creating you're currently creating, let's say, rogue games are probably gonna be like that. So roguelite games with Souls-like mechanics, that's probably gonna be, it's ticking a lot of boxes. It's ticking a lot of those boxes. I think another one is probably gonna be something like a social co-op game, something like a Lethal Company or Repo or something. I think there's probably gonna be games like that quite a bit. So you are going to gain a lot of kind of like attention, but you are also going to be compared to the kind of like the ones that make it. So you're gonna be compared to the best. And this is the same thing when you're doing like an FPS game, or you're doing a MOBA game, or you're doing kind of like these games that have like these freaking massive IPs behind them. So if you do a new MOBA game, everyone's gonna compare you to League of Legends or Dota 2. If you do an RPG game, everyone's gonna look at you, like compare you to RuneScape and World of Warcraft and Diablo and all these games. So you gotta like choose your battles. If you kind of like invent your own thing, people are gonna like struggle to put you in a box, but they are gonna struggle to find you as well. So that's the kind of like, it's not a kind of like a sure way. Nixkaro says that horror games are pretty much copies of each other unless there's a big ass story behind. The core mechanics are the same. They are relatively small, easy to make, and every horror game fan is actually willing to pay $5 to $15 for 1 hour fun because it's what they want. Yeah, so I think horror is a little bit of an outlier. Yeah, because it's so much. The horror is so much about the novelty. Like whenever you wanna like get spooked, you're not gonna get spooked by the same thing many times. So even if the kind of like the game idea, and even if the bad kind of like the the boss or whoever you're kind of like supposed to be scared of, even if it was kind of like copy paste, the experience is probably still gonna be novel. So the experience is about the novelty, and the spookiness is about the new experience. So yeah, I think in horror it is fine to have like shorter experiences, as long as you kind of like get into it, as long as you get spooked. Yeah. Vaga has some number. Total release in 2024, 18k to 19k. Visible full featured games, 3 to... Oh! That was actually interesting data. So the actual number is way lower. So it's not actually 19k. It is actually 2k. No, 4k. So this is like excluding DLCs. We're getting 4k. That's interesting. Just got off from work. What have we done today? Ville, good day, Ville. We have been adding some environmental assets, and we have a first prototype of the special attack to the game. So, good stuff, good stuff. So did we actually make a prefab out of this guy? So we have the dried bush here. And it has the colliders where we need to get rid of this stuff. I think this is gonna be... I think what we could do here is kind of like give him a really small collider. So we have two colliders here. One is trigger. We could let the player walk through it. I wonder what it's gonna look like if we walk through that. I think it could kind of like rotate or something, but I think what we could kind of like start off with is just make him, let's just give this guy like a really small collider. So we're gonna like squeeze it in like so. And we're gonna make it a lot smaller on the Y. Something like that. And you can kind of like walk past that, but that's it. And let's give it a non-mesh obstacle to kind of like sell the same idea. So the values were like 0.2 and 0.5. 0.2, 0.5. That doesn't look right. Why does it look like that? Oh, it's because of the Z, isn't it? 0.00. Alright. So if we had something like that, we carve that. I think that's gonna be fine. But hey, Ville, how's it going? I'm trying to do a horror-ish roguelike where there's no combat, but still in the process of trying to figure out the mechanics. Been a work in progress for like 3 years now. That sounds like a cool idea. I think the PT is something that the YouTubers always bring up. PT became like a martyr, became a legend for the genre. And I think we still haven't seen like a really good replayable horror game. You know, something like PT basically invented the you come to the same place but it's different genre. And that kind of like brought new horror experiences where you basically started to kind of like, you know, if there's anything different, you had to kind of like notice it and report the anomaly. That the kind of like anomaly genre became quite big in the horror scene as well. And I think I would argue that it kind of like came from the PT as well. Maybe not. Have you had new features in the game so far that were accidents at first? That's a good question. Have we had any like a happy accidents? I don't know. I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe not. I can't think of any at least. Steam classifies most of these as limited games, meaning they don't unlock community features. That Valve's way of flagging titles with very low sales or player engagement. Huh. I had an idea of a horror top-down kind of like Diablo shooter-ish. Diablo shooter-ish at the first person. Trying to think about the story and environment first because mechanics are easy to do when I have a clear vision. I have the same about the mechanics. I need a clear vision at first. Yeah, it really helps if you have inspiration. Like, for example, Shadows of Tuonela has been taking like majority of the kind of like mechanics from RuneScape. I haven't invented all that much yet. Trees with hitboxes remind me of GTA. You can break lampposts and huge cars, but that little bush will stop your tank. Yeah, true. Back from BRB, but I need to go now. I have a code issue that I need to discuss with my friend. Good luck. Be sure to tell me if stuff needs to be changed. Hey, Electra, take care and thanks for everything. PT was scary. replayable horror games were probably in the 2010, like the Slender Man game. I suppose so. I wouldn't necessarily consider Slender Man to be a replayable horror game though. I think they kind of like why Slender Man became a big thing was that it was kind of like an interesting idea. It was like a new gameplay loop basically. So you had to pick up the pages. And it had kind of like the interesting AI, so the AI would be kind of like getting progressively harder. And I don't think like Slenderman was necessarily anything super, you know, original or clever, but it just so happened to be in the right place at the right time because YouTube was like kicking off. Like YouTube became such a big thing in the early 2010s. And it was just like it was the right game at the right time. A lot of big YouTubers kind of like picked it up and did content. I think that's kind of like the majority why it was a huge thing. Like if we are actually taking a look at the games, I think they're kind of silly. Same thing with like Five Nights at Freddy's. I think the kind of like base idea is very, very limited and kind of like small game vibes, but it just came at a perfect time when YouTube was blowing up, and kind of like these let's plays were blowing up. All right, so this is the dried bush. I'm gonna get rid of these. We don't need a network object. Fuck you. I don't even think we need a bush script to this guy. We do need a Z sorting though. And I think we are going to do the SFX. And we have Betty Bush animator. Let's see if that actually works. So it does work. So if you go through it, it's gonna shake a little bit. I think that's fine. I think we can do that. So what we actually need is we need two colliders, because that's not gonna work, is it? So we need a new box collider, and this is gonna be the one that's triggering the one. So let's make this a little bigger like that, and these should be fairly small, something like 0.1 probably. So now when you are kind of like getting, I think I'm gonna move it. I think we could move it like here. So if you go through this area, then it's gonna shake. Put it a little bit higher. I think it can be a tad smaller. Something like this. So if you go past that, then it's gonna shake. I think that could work. So it has all that. I don't know why the animator is disabled. We have the sprites, yeah. So this is dried bush. Let's create a prefab out of it. Alright, and then I'm gonna create a new version of this. This is gonna be dried bush 2. And it's gonna be the same thing, except I'm gonna change the sprites into this other one. And as so we have noticed, this is wrong, so this has to be like so. I think it was like 0.5, and I think this was something like 0.1, 0.3, 0.1, yeah, something like that. Let's see here. I saw this video of some Russian horror game PT style. You walk into grandpa's apartment and things start going. Felt anxiety while watching it. Yeah, I've watched like these good old big three let's play YouTubers, you know, like Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye. I watched them kind of like play horror games, like hundreds of horror games. And there's been like a dozen games that have tried to do the same thing, like PT. And some have, I think some have actually achieved doing something special. But none of them have actually done anything, you know, like actually replayable. And what I mean replayable is that you could play it for like, you know, hours and hours and days. It's more like you can play it once or you can play it a couple of times. But it's never been that you can play it for days. I think the only kind of like horror that I've seen people just get kind of like addicted to have been these anomaly games. So where you have to kind of like, you're watching, you know, from a security camera point of view and you need to report anomalies in the world. I think that's been one of the kind of like rare occasions where horror game has been like revisited. And then another one is like if your game is just interesting and not very horror. So for example, That's Not My Neighbor game. So that's not really a horror game in my opinion, but it's a good game. It's kind of like Papers, Please in a more spooky setting. If you guys can think of any horror games that have kind of like actually created something replayable, let me know. One thing that I have always wanted to make was a basic game where all cheating is allowed. That would be funny. Pages were randomly placed after that many games did the same. Yeah, there were set locations for the pages, but they spawned in random places, I think. Kind of like there was a really old school coder game where they wrote assembly programs that were running in sandbox environments simultaneously, and the winner was the one whose program kept running the longest. Slender was kind of peak of that era, 2012. Yeah, it was just around the time when me and Garnet started going out. Ages ago, there was an FPS game where the idea was to cheat. You could see players through walls, see their screens, and if I remember right, with points you could buy different hacks. CS2. That's funny. I'll be streaming Resident Evils because people say that they're really good. I think they're just pretty games, but nothing special. Stories are alright, but the gameplay is bad, and I haven't played them before. Hobbitti! Mitä kuuluu, moro moro? How's it going, Hobbitti? Resident Evils. I think a lot of Resident Evils and kind of like horror games in general, they are pretty bad in the gameplay wise. Like when you are really like breaking it down, they don't have a lot of mechanics and the controls can be yanky, but that's kind like, I think a lot of people would argue that's kind of like the point. It's kind of like the point that the inputs are kind of like unresponsive. Much similarly to, like Souls-like games. I think a lot of like Souls enjoyers will defend the mechanics. That it's kind of like the point that everything takes freaking ages to, like do. I would disagree because I like responsive inputs. But yeah, it definitely creates like a new layer of horror, I suppose, because your freaking character won't turn. Or more difficulty when your player doesn't stop whatever it's doing. Miten menee? Hyvin menee. Tässä kesälomaa perheen kanssa ja pääsee välillä vähän devaileekin, niin kyllähän se maistupi. Mitäs itelles? Eternal Darkness was replayable, can't really remember much of it. It was GameCube game, it had many endings and psychological horror scenes that changed on how you played. Oh, I think I know that game, but I've never watched any gameplay. Mehu! Mitäs meidän Smash Brosille? Moro moro. Mukava nähdä Mehu. Hyvää päivää. Alright, we are creating environmental assets, guys. These are gonna decorate the world. Mutta mitäs pojille kuuluvi? Onko Mehu, onko kesälomalla? So this is the dried bush number 2. Prefab variant. So now we have 2 dried bushes. Let's bring these bad boys. Well, let's first check if they work. I'm taking a lot of inspiration of it or how I remember it. Musiikkikasvatusta, hei sehän kuulostaa ihan sujutolta. Huippujuttu meidän, onneksi olkoon. Mennään tuohon Ouluun. Alright, let's see if these work. So the sound works, but the animation doesn't. Yeah, alright. I'm glad we tested it. So the problem is... Are we actually shaking? I think the problem is probably the fact that, yeah, we have this. We have the push trigger north, push trigger south, so we actually changed it. All right, we gotta think about it. That's in a second. But we have such a good chat today, so I'm gonna read your messages. Like I'm making walls change color based on actions you did before and how much horror you have seen before. That's pretty cool. Meta horror game where you actually start encountering freaky stuff outside the game, like using remote exploits on your computer and Windows start opening up. I have seen a couple of those games and they are really powerful. Yeah. I think One Shot was really cool in that sense. Do you guys know the game One Shot? It's like this really small indie game. It has some of these kind of like meta game features. I highly encourage everyone to play it through. I thought it was an amazing game. So it's this one. Let's see. One Shot. This one. It's a small game. It only takes a few hours to complete. And I think it's really powerful. It has some of that stuff Pirate Patch talked about. Joo, jää Ouluun. En viitti lähteä muualle paikkakunnalle. Ei mehu, onneksi olkoon oikeesti. Oulun musiikkikasvatus on hyvä. Mulla oli pari kaveria siellä, lukiokaveria, ja ne kyllä tykkäs. Se on oikeesti aivan jees. Ja musta tuntuu, että susta Ossi, sulla on semmonen hyvä rempsee semmonen lähestyttävä asenne ja luonnollisesti oot hyvä musiikissa ja tykkäät musiikista, niin sussa voisi oikeasti olla siinä. Dark picture games are more like interactive movies. True. One Shot was actually supposed to be played in one sitting before a certain update. Ah, really? Cool. There was this one game that knew how many times you started again, loaded, or how you died before it even knew if you changed the save file. Cool. Is One Shot the game that Pirate Software got busted cheating at and playing it off like he was a genius or something? Wait. I don't know. Like I remember there was a lot of debates when he was playing. Was it like Animal Wells or was it Animal Wells? Animal Well. I think it was this one. Yeah. I think it was this one. Yeah, this one had a lot of like hard puzzles in it, I think. Yeah. Yeah, this is it. Mitä kesäsuunnitelmia? Yhden tripin voisi tehdä tonne Etelä-Suomeen. Ei muuta. Ei ihan hirveästi muuta. Billy Basso. Musiikkikasvatus on ollut tavoitteena muutaman vuoden. Taisi olla eka lukivuoden lopussa, kun halusin hakea sinne. Nyt pääsin. Käyn kertomassa opettajalle Marikselle, että pääsin tonne. Yksi niistä kyllä sekoaa. Ai että. Toi on oikeesti huippujuttu. Speculation was that he cheated Animal Well and Outer Wilds. Yeah, people are kind of like they are so far in the Pirate Software hate train that they are trying to find anything. They're trying to find anything to kind of like hate him for. I think everyone should just like leave him alone. That's how I feel like. Brought in a bunch of new environmental assets, started working on making them prefabs. Is there anything that shouldn't be here? Leave Britney alone meme. I mean, old roguelikes had shadow files where those were counted. You could encounter your own ghost later in the game, kill them and loot their bodies and so forth. That's pretty cool. What did he do? I've seen videos about it, but I haven't bothered checking it out. So there's kind of like... So Pirate Software has reached the level in social media where it's now okay to hate him. So it's kind of like internet mob mentality, is that if enough negative allegations and proof happens to show up, people kind of like label someone as evil, and thus it's okay to say and think whatever you want about someone. So he has basically reached that level. What he has actually done, I have followed this fairly closely because I think it's kind of interesting, and like I don't agree with majority of the kind of like allegations and shit, but I think it's interesting to watch it. But basically, what he has actually done is he's been, I think he's some sort of narcissistic or narcissists. I don't know what the actual word is, but he has like these personality traits where he has really hard time kind of like being human about his errors. I think it boils down to that. He has some serious problems just like conveying his feelings and kind of like his sorries. Yeah. That's basically all there is to it. So he is autism. Could be. Yeah, it could be. It could be. But that's kind of like how I see it. He hasn't done all that much wrong, in my opinion. He's just, it's just that people just kind of like hate how he kind of like responds to negativity and how he responds to kind of like controversy. He doesn't take account, or if he takes accountability, he doesn't really do it in a way that feels sincere to people. And that could be the autism. I'm not saying that he has, but it could be. Or maybe he's just like a narcissist. I think that's what it is. Generic arc of Twitch YouTube personality, has seen it so many times. Yeah. There's I think there's a kind of like so how I see this again. This is a broad generalization. So what does it take to become big in social media? I think this is what starts it. So what does it take to become big in social media? You need certain certain lifestyle and certain kind of like personality, and you need kind of like certain kind of like these, you know, like prerequisites. You have like traits or history or something like that. And I would argue that the kind of like the personality, for example, it needs to be a little bit neurospicy. So what does the neurospicy mean in this sense is that you need to be obsessed to the grind. This is what you find in most of the social media celebrities. They are obsessed to the grind, and they don't really have any other life. So the traits and the history, they don't have anything else. This is the kind of like, this is how I see it. I'm not saying everyone is like this, but I'm saying that it helps. It helps a great deal to have these things to make you big. So you need to be grinding all the time. You need to be obsessed about the kind of like success and the growing and the everything. And I think a lot of that comes from like narcissism and kind of like autism. So you're kind of like just hyper focused. You don't have all that much other life. You don't have all that like rich social life because maybe you have these things. And it's kind of like because of these things you grow. But once you grow, people start to like see your kind of like shallowness of your personality, and that's when you kind of like fall out. This is my kind of like meta analysis of social media celebrities. Knightti, milloin Bugpia? Oot tarvinnut Bugpia pelaa, mitä hitto? Eikä Valorantti enää. Vaka says about Part Software, I really don't have an opinion about the guy. Don't kill games. Drama kinda made not care at all. Guy has his own opinions and he does not know how to say sorry, but that's most of humans in the world. Yeah, it's like he really doesn't know how to say sincerely that he's sorry. That's why people started hating him. I think if you look at like Pirate Software's doings, his achievements and what he's like kind of like managed to build, I think it's like 95% positive. Like I think he's like a genuinely good guy. I look up to him in many ways. But the way that he is just like he's unable to sincerely apologize and kind of like he's failing to do a human apology. That's why people started hating him. Because when he talked to Dr. K about this, I actually like listened to the whole interview he did a couple months ago. Dr. K, who is this famous internet therapist, he tried to like really push Thor, who is the Pirate Software guy. He really tried to push him to kind of like see why people have kind of like backlashed against him. And I think it all kind of like came down to the fact that when Thor kind of like initially started getting shit for his actions, what he did was he basically has this logic that, okay, so people hate me for something, so I need to kind of like provide them evidence. I need to provide them evidence that my actions are justified. And when people hate me about that, I need to provide more evidence that I am in fact right. And when people hate me, they are either childish, which means that I can ban them, or I can convince them with more evidence. So that was kind of like the Thor's thought process. And I kind of understand that. I kind of understand that, like, if somebody disagrees with me and I think that I haven't been in the wrong, I am going to try to like prove them that, hey, can you see my point? But at some point, here's the thing where he fails. At some point, you gotta kind of like just call it a day. You just gotta call it a day. You have provided this information, you have provided your point of view, and if people still call you out, I think it's like the only thing you can do, the only human thing you can do is just like take the hat off and be like, man, I think I fucked up, man. Like, Like there's no other way to put it anymore. Like I thought I had a deal here. I thought I made it right, but turns out I fucked up. And I think that's what the people really wanted to see. Just like, can we actually make him see that he had made an error, and can he kind of like make a human kind of like apology? But he couldn't. And that's why people are still hating him. Sounds like Autumn's 101. It's like playing chess with pigeons. Some people will never bend whatever you say. If you don't know when to stop, then it's just stupid. Yeah, act like a human. Yeah, that's exactly. 3 vuotta sitten viimeksi Bugpia Valoranttia aina välillä. Okei. Okay. Mitäs Knightille kuuluu muuta? Onko kesäsuunnitelmia? Beard Retro, thank you so much for the follow. Welcome, welcome. How's it going, Beard Retro? People get my respect when they admit they are wrong. I agree. I agree. I think it shows character when you kind of like when you admit that, hey, this was on me. This was on me. I know it's some people really struggle with that. And I think it's something everyone should learn to say that, hey, this is just this was on me, guys. I'm sorry. Yeah. EM-kisat pari viikon päästä Frankfurtissa muuten chilliin. Nice. Aika siistiä. Siistiä. One other thing about the Twitch YouTube personality arc is that most of the fans are teens and they still have an expectation that people they idolize have to be perfect. So any failure in their actions or personality is something catastrophic that gets overblown out of proportion immediately. I think there's a couple things. I don't necessarily disagree with what Pirate Software. You need to change your name, by the way. It's Pirate. I'm sorry. Pirate Patch. So I think there's a couple things why people are getting cancelled, like in social media. And I don't think it's necessarily about the teens or the fans. I think it's there's a couple things. Yeah, it's a contributing factor. Yeah, I think you're right. I think there's a couple things there. First and foremost, it's about the content they make. Content you make. I think this is the number one contributor why people get cancelled. So if you become a drama queen or king, people will you will attract drama driven people. So if you do drama content, you will attract drama thirsty people, and the drama thirsty people are just looking for more drama. They are just looking for more drama, and it's only a matter of time before it's the content creator itself. It's kind of like if you're constantly looking for the next juicy bits, you will be the juicy bits at some point. It's only a matter of time. Like you are basically feeding these vultures who love when people fail. So you're gonna be the one to fail at some point. I think this is literally one of the biggest things where people will kind of like fall. So they grow because of the drama they are feeding off others' kind of like misery. So at some point the same people they have managed to kind of like attract will kind of like devour the actual content creator. And then there's the other one, which is that I think kind of like, well, the personalities that make it in the social media space, and I think this actually applies to other celebrity as well. So the kind of like personality types that make it in the business, make it, you know, out there, they tend to be power driven, kind of like maybe a little misfortune in their life, and kind of like isolated in socially and stuff like that. And once they start getting power, once they start getting people that are kind of like following them and kind of like listening to what they say, I think it corrupts. So it's the kind of like the old saying that power corrupts. And there's two S's. Power corrupts, and absolute power corrupts absolutely. I think this is true. And I think this is another reason why kind of like these celebrities kind of like get cancelled, because they get power, and if they get absolute power, they're gonna be corrupted, and they're gonna use their power to use it for dark forces. That's how I see it. Let's see here. Drama content arc is the epitome of live by the sword, die by the sword. Very good, yeah. Vatsky! How's it going, Vatsky? Good day, good day. With Pirate he made the story about himself. He was a god who was never wrong, so when he makes mistakes, people stuck to it. Yeah, I think that is a big part of it. He was this virtuous man who did virtuous things, and he was virtue signaling a lot. I think he had a lot of virtuous things that he did, and that's kind of like the point that I'm trying to make as well, is that I think the majority of things he did was good, and I think you gotta be pretty biased to say that that's not true. Like, he's paying his mods, he's paying a lot of things to charity, he's saving animals, and he's like I think he's done a lot of good. But it's just that because he virtue signaled so hard, is that when he can't do a humane thing to just like apologize and be sincere about it, then people kind of like took it to the freaking 180 degrees. Maybe the best video I have seen is how Markiplier crime meme started. He cried because he knew he could never have the community he had before he was super famous. He loved highlighting his previous achievements to a degree that made a Finnish person grimace. Yeah, I agree, 100%. 100%. Okay. I gotta focus now, guys. So what we did here is we basically, yeah, should we do that? So now we kind of like have the shake. Should we do the shake, or should we do the kind of like leaning? Maybe we'll do the leaning for this, yeah. Tete is here. Good day, Tete. How's it going? So let's do bush trigger north. All right, bush shake north, bush shake south. Yeah, let's do that. I'm gonna create the two animations for this. Yeah, I think I can do that. Yeah, I can. So what we are gonna do is we are gonna do the triggers. What was it? Bush shake north. Was it that? Bush shake north and bush shake south. Yeah, bush shake south. And by default, we're going into new state. And from any state, we're going into bush shake animation. Let's do a new animation called a bush shake north. I don't know, something like this. And we're gonna put it into art, animations, misc, bush shake north. And what this is gonna be, it's gonna be real simple, guys. It's gonna be real simple. So what I'm gonna do with the bush shake north is I'm gonna record, and I'm just gonna move this, rotate it north like 20 degrees, like so. And I think it could be like, maybe it could bend a little bit first, so maybe it's gonna be kind of like that. So let's make it like, wait, this is supposed to be 0, and then 0, so we're gonna bend it, and then maybe it could be like kind of like come back fairly quickly. So and then we are gonna hold it and then it's gonna come back, but it's gonna it's gonna overcorrect a little bit. So it's gonna be like there. Maybe it's gonna hold on just a little while, and then we are gonna like reverb. So let's make it like 10. Let's do like 10, and then do like -5, 5, 0. Alright, what does that look like? Alright, so that's kind of like what I had in mind, so it's gonna be kind of like a... Can we add the curves? Yeah, alright. I think that could work. I have become a Valorant user. What happened, dude? What happened? We learned an important thing here. When Ame becomes world famous, he's psychologically ready for the fame, and when he has inevitable downfall, we can all say that, ha, you called out yourself back in 2025. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Alright, so that's gonna be it. Now, let's do a new one, which is gonna be south. A bush shake south. And we are gonna record, do the same thing, so it's gonna be like 0.1. Here we're gonna be like, how much did we rotate it? Let's do like 30, and then we're gonna hold on. Let's go back to the dope shit. Let's hold on to it for a little while. And then we are gonna move fast to the other direction. Hold on to it for a little while. And then we're gonna go to -20. Okay, so that's too long of a hold. Too long of a hold, that's for sure. And then we're gonna go like 10, -5. Alright, well, how's that? Alright, let's hold it for a little while. It's quite snappy. I think that's a little too much. That's a little too much. Let's make it 20. Alright, let's try that. I totally get that though. When you're a huge streamer, the signal to noise ratio in chat drops to 0. Wind simulation. Hell yeah. The idea is to have kind of like these animations that when you move past this branch part, it's gonna kind of like bend. So now we have these shake north, shake south. So we're gonna do any state, and we're gonna use the triggers. So this one is the north, this one is the south, and let's do a quick transition. 0.2, no exit times. And we're gonna go into new state if we are done here. So let's make this kind of like a, I don't know, like exit time 0.5, transition 0.25. Just do something like that. Alright, let's see how that is. Did I make it or did I break it? So this is now in the dried bush. I think this should theoretically work for all of the bushes now. Huh, we'll see. We'll see how it is. We'll see how it is. Holy shit, my office room is already getting hot. It's already getting hot and it's not even the hottest day. Alright, let's see if they work. Alright. The animation is like not doing good. So for some reason it feels like it's kind of like doing it twice. The second part needs to happen faster. Yeah, there's a lot wrong with it. Just trying to find the freaking asset. Hello? Can I have the bush? The dry bush, please. Excuse me. Oh, it's dried bush. Alright, so what's wrong with your animation? Let's see how it is. It looks like it's kind of like playing twice. Yeah, it's kind of like looping. Alright, so let's see. I think these guys are looping, so that's one issue. So bush shake, let's make them unloopable. Unloopable. Elellä mustassa talossa tuntuu, että tänne kiehuu ja malta on täältä 2 kuuden helteitä tämä. Joo, mekin asutaan kerrostalossa, niin täällä kyllä kämppä lämpiää. Vuokraa antaa. Tähän taloon ei saa laittaa ilmalämpöpumppua. Alright, so that's already kind of good. It's a little slow. For some reason it feels like the... Maybe I should remove the collider. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I think I'm gonna get rid of the collider. Yeah. I'm gonna get rid of the collider. I think that's what makes sense. So let's go to the dried bush. I'm gonna get rid of this guy. I don't think we're gonna use it. So this guy. Alright. Meillä on julkisivun muokkauskielto, pitää olla piilossa ohikulkijalta. Joo. Se on kyllä ihan uskomatonta. Ihan uskomatonta, miten voi olla 2025 vielä tollaisia säädöksiä, että ei saa laittaa ilmalämpöpumppu. Tässä on jotenkin tämä kämppä on silleen niinku huonosti designattu, että täältä ei oikein saa niinku ilmaa kiertää kunnolla. Siis pitää räpiköjen noiden liikuteltavien ilmastointilaitteiden kanssa. I'm pretty happy about that. Meilläkin ainoa paikka, mistä saa ilmaa, on lasitettu parveke, mikä on tietty vähän ongelma. Jep. Moi tomaatti. Mitä kuuluu tomaatille? Moro moro. Alright, so guys, I'm pretty happy about that. Apparently we are trying to interact with the bush, which we gotta fix. Let's see what's up with that. Why are we trying to interact? What are we trying to interact with? That's kind of like what I'm thinking here. We have the seesaw, we have play, SFX, animator, Namesh, obstacle. None of these... I don't think any of these should trigger that. We have the tooltip. I'm gonna get rid of that. Sprite. That's not... What is causing that red cross? Oh yeah, we have the Namesh obstacle. I'm gonna get rid of that as well. I don't think it's good idea. Alright, so Namesh obstacle, let's get rid of that. Box collider, play SFX, E-sort sorting group. Alright. I hope I didn't override the freaking berry bush script. No. Okay, good. Alright, so these guys still have that. They have the collider. Alright, very good, very good. Wait, this has 2 box colliders. Wait, what? What did I do? Code the True OG! New Varmen album? When is that coming out? Varmen. The closest thing we have to Children of Bottom. Alright, so what we can do, what we are doing, come on, Ame, focus. So environment bushes. So we have the new berry bush, this is the original one. So we have a box collider. We have a box collider and we have a box collider. This one's the trigger. Huh. Yikes. 35 days and 8 hours. Alright. Where did you source music for your game? I'm using Fmod. Big fan of this. I can't vouch enough for this. It's a third-party solution, but it's really powerful. For example, here I have background music. I'm just setting like multiple tracks into one area. I have these parameters, which are the area names, and I'm just passing them in Unity, and that's it. And it's really powerful to do like sound effects, for example. So let me pick one for you. So here, for example, we have terrain, footsteps. So I have different terrain types where you can walk. So we have snow, wood, grass, sand, stone, gravel, and we could do one general. And I have set these multi-instrument tracks. So if we are, for example, running on snow, it's gonna play out of this playlist. So it's gonna, let me make it a little louder for you guys. So if I play walk in the snow, it's gonna play like one random sound effect. And the thing is that in Fmod, I can automate a random pitch, random volume, random like everything you can think of. Like I can change EQ. For example, I can set here. Well, I have set the spatializer, so every footstep has 3D audio. And then I could, for example, do EQ here. So I have EQ randomized. So every time something gets played in here, it's going to have like a random EQ set to it. So it's going to be a little bit different each time. So I'm a big sucker for this, and it makes the routing easy as well. I have these kind of like music banks that are distributed into Mixer. So I have this master here, and we have these music groups. So I can kind of like route the different sound effects and events into these knobs here. So I could mix it here if I wanted to. And I can attach these into options of a game. So when your character is drunk, you can make the background song play at half speed and model it. Yeah, exactly. You get it. You get it. All right. So I don't think we need the collider here, right? Did this break my berry bush now? Let's see. So seems like a cool tool. Yeah, and it's free until you made like 200k or something. All right, let's see where we are at the berry bush now. So it still works. And it shakes. Very good. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Future of my problems. Yeah, if my game has made 200k, I'm gonna count that as a win. I'm gonna count that as a win. I think I can pay Fmod a little bit. Most important question of all. You surely have Wilhelm's creep? Not yet, no. I think we gotta add I think we could add like a 1% chance in some rare scenario. And when somebody hears it, they're never gonna hear it again. And they're gonna be like, wait, did I hear? And they're never gonna know. There's like, nobody's gonna know. Nobody's gonna believe you. Added the bush shake north and south animations for the bushes. When someone crosses them. Or a goofy scream. Yoinks. Oh. I like the way you think, guys. Alright, so now we have the bushes. So what we can do... Wait, these two look really same. These guys are the same, aren't they? This is supposed to be the other color. Somewhere along the way I changed the sprite. Yeah, this is supposed to be this one. Okay, now they both changed. Why are you like that? Why are you like that? I have fucked something up. Let's see here. So we have dried bush and dried bush 2 variants. But it seems to me that they are very much connected. So let's delete this. And delete that. Let's do a copy. And this one's gonna be the different color now. Let's drag and drop this one over here. And then we're gonna create a new prefab. This is gonna be a variant. So now it should work, right? Now it should work, right? So if I change this sprite to something, it shouldn't change the other one. So if this is now a fish, yeah, the other one doesn't. That would be a shocking revelation. It was actually a fish all along. Alright, let's bring these guys to the desert. We have dried bush. This is gonna be like, I don't know. Let's decorate the way over here. Like so. And we should be able to kind of like make them bigger. So let's see if we scale this up to 1.5. I think that should still work. Maybe this like bigger one could be kind of like more in here. And then these guys are gonna be like here, just like dried out. I think we can rotate it as well. Let's try that. So this is gonna be 180 degrees. I think we can do this. Let's make this one a little bigger. And see, we have a bunch of cool stuff here we gotta figure out how to use. So Electro did a really good job at adding bones, so we're gonna be adding bones here. So let's do a carcass. Oh, it's a big boy. That's a little bit of a too big boy. Let's make it 2000 single. Alright, where did it go? Where did it go? Where did you go now, Cotton Eye Joe? Now it's small. It's small. I think it could be a little bigger. My games would have such a horrible boomer meme filled audio design. Oh man, I really want to play that now. I really want to play that. Let's make it a little bit bigger. Let's try 1000. Now that's what I'm talking about. Now this is gonna like create a sense of wonder, like what the hell is in this world. I like more that huge version, yeah. Yeah, I think we could like have this over here or somewhere. And I'm gonna get rid of this green grass. Or maybe it could be like somewhere here behind. Because we're not gonna be letting players go there, so it might as well be there. I think it still could be a little bigger. Let's try it one more time. So it's gonna be 800. I hate it when it just tries to do that. We should probably change the pivot to prevent this. So let's do this. Pivot is gonna be there. 0.5, 0.16. Depends on what animal carcass it is. Yeah. I don't think we've kind of like made unapplied. Yeah, apply please. So let's see. If we now drag it, it should go straight to the ground, right? Yeah. Still a little bit in like floating. Let's see if we can fix that. I think if we do that, I think we can still change this pivot to here. Just do something like this. Alright, what about that now? Hell yeah. Now let's take a look at these. Oh, that's a big ass coco. Now let's make it smaller. Let's try 1000. Sprites. Let's make it smaller. Not sure how this should be, because there's a kind of like a clipping issue. Huh? So yeah, I can put it like that, but what if I rotate it? Not that one, the Y. No, not Y one, Z one. So I suppose I could kind of like rotate it like so, and make sense of it, so it would, you know, look like it's actually on the ground. And I think I can do the same thing here, so I can rotate it a little bit. So that's kind of like, you know, sitting on the ground. I think it's a little big, so let's make it a tad smaller. Something like that. All right. Obviously, these are not game objects. These are just, well, they don't have anything else to them really. They are just decorations. Meneekö teillä pelata tänään? Ei me varmaan pelailla. Mulla on aika vähän se nyt on tullut pelihommaa. Enemmän ollaan tehty homma. Mitä se Hobbitti tykkää pelata nykyään? Alright, let's move this over here. Just trying to decorate this place. This is gonna be kind of like a spooker that there's something going on in here. And we should do the bones as well here. Do like 1,000. No idea where the pivot should be on this one. Maybe it should be at the middle. Let's try the middle one. So if I put it here, it's gonna be like that. And if I rotate it, we can make it kind of like come off it. Let's make it smaller. Sama paska ennenkin, eli OV ja Valheimia. OV-laatu on vaan mennyt alaspäin. Okei. Mä pelasin Valheimia tossa viime viikonloppuna, kävin lanittaa kaverin luona ja oli kyllä ihan hiton kiva. Se on kyllä niinku huippupeli. Huippupeli ehdottomasti. Have you made a time-based or feature-based deadline for yourself to release the first version? Yes, I have. I'm glad you asked, my friend. Let's see, where's my schedule? Where's my schedule? It's not here. Where is my schedule? Oh, here it is. Yeah, so. Review. All right, so here it is. Here is my release schedule. So we are supposed to do playtest next week, but this is highly questionable, highly question mark because of I simply can't. I can't work as much as I need to. So I think we're probably gonna have the playtest early August or maybe late July if I'm feeling like really good about it. So there's gonna be a playtest in August, that's for sure. And the kind of like how I've done this is that there's gonna be Steam Next Fest in October. So that's gonna be the final. That's gonna be the final Next Fest for Steam. So we gotta be like ready. We gotta be prepared for that. So it's gonna be somewhere in October, and I figured kind of like, okay, so let's release the demo in Steam 1 month before that. So our schedule is roughly like half mark of September. That's when we're gonna do a kind of like a public demo, and we're gonna kind of like hone it, polish it until the Next Fest happens. And the Next Fest is gonna be, it's gonna be the single biggest thing for the game. So basically, our wish lists, I think we have kind of like done a graph here somewhere. Yeah, here. So our wish list is looking kind of like this. So we've gained some wish lists, but it's nothing too significant. And the Next Fest has a chance of doing something like this. So if we are at like, I don't know, like a couple hundred like wish lists before the next fest, Steam is going to showcase the new games in the next fest, and you only get to apply once, by the way. So hopefully we'll see something like this, and if we get maybe a couple thousand wish lists, which would be really awesome, then we can do a release. And the release that I have kind of like thought about is it's gonna be like the end of the year. Scary good at writing with the mouse. Oh, thanks dude. Mahtava peli Valheim. Valheim on kyllä huippupeli. Me pelattiin sitä meidän maailmaa joku alta 30 tuntia ja päästiin 3. alue läpi. Eli 4. alue olisi tulossa. Wishlist has the best actual indication of sales. Yes. So wishlist is kind of like the currency in Steam. In a way, like it's the currency for the developers. So if you have a lot of wish lists, it tells to a lot of kind of like different places that your game has potential. For example, like publishers and even Steam itself. So if you gain a lot of, let's say that you have 10k wish lists, Steam is going to kind of like treat you better when it comes to everything. So you're gonna get better position at the next fest, you're gonna get more recommendations and whatnot. So that's kind of like the major thing in Steam. I don't think it's necessarily, you know, like 1-to-1, so the more wish lists you have, the better success you have, but it's gonna be like pretty close. It's gonna be pretty close to that. I haven't seen you doing devlogs. Isn't that like the meta these days? Yeah, I have been slacking off in YouTube. Like I think the last video we did was like 5 months ago or something. I should definitely step it up there. There's just this freaking feeling that I have is that I need to have like something, like I always have to do the next thing before I can do kind of like a showcase. So I need to add these things, then I need to add that thing, and now I know that I need to add that thing before I'm gonna do like a marketing, and I need to get over that when we get back into full development in August. I need to kind of like start marketing, and the fall is gonna be the biggest. So I think until the fall we are gonna go and fly below the radar. You know, the saying that's nobody really cares. But in the fall we gotta step it up. People need to kind of like learn about the game. December 31st is kind of sus as a release date with all the big game releases, but don't know if you're actually competing with any of those. Yeah, it's not official date. It's just kind of like to resemble that we're gonna release this year. But yeah, I agree. I don't necessarily think we are competing against those guys either. But yeah, it is a good point. Let's move this a little bit and see if we could make this maybe a little smaller. And maybe we could rotate it a bit. What if we rotated it just a bit?